trying to expose anybody, but Sam is already trying to rake the system. Fake YouTuber, fake YouTuber. I'm trying to be authentic, guys. I know what books I want.
11 books on. The odds are not in our favor.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, but like they're all good books. It's just like some were in the mood for more.
Like obviously we chose them all to be on our TBR. Obviously we want to read them all at some point.
Yeah. And we've been really good about not having books on our TBR that we're not in the mood for. So basically, we picked 11 books off the TBR that we're like the most in the mood for, just because we didn't want this to be like too crazy in terms of getting something that we're really not in the mood for. So we picked 11 books that we're in the mood for enough. But you might be wondering, why did I pick 11 books? And that's because I thought about it, and if we're doing we're doing 2 of the little guys, but when you roll 2, obviously you're not going to get just 1. It's 2 through 12, really, is what we're trying to do, because we have 2 days. But it's super funny because we don't have regular ones of these guys. Sam went looking through all of her like family games that they have. And what are these from?
Clue.
From Clue. So they have the little...
Like the little search guy.
Yeah. And so we're going to use the little search guy as if it was a 1.
Yeah.
Because there is no 1 on the rest of this. We're going to roll. And we're going to be authentic.
Yes.
Because someone's being bad over there. Okay, so for the official record, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again, we don't have a 1 because you can't roll a 1. First roll, first book. 8. Which is the one that I didn't want. Oh my god. Okay, so. Which is literally one of the ones I said I wasn't in the mood for right now, so that's super funny. Roll number 2. Roll number 2.
10.
Is it 10? Mm-hmm. Don't touch it. Don't move it.
Kingdom of the Wicked.
It's Kingdom of the Wicked. Why is it coming from me? The one book I said I didn't want, check. The one book I said I did want, check.
You ready?
Yes.
10 again, so I'm gonna reroll.
Yes. Not cheating. Not cheating. 6. These are the 3. Every clip, it's like if I don't start it dancing, like was it really a clip by me? I don't think so. First up. Now again, was I in the mood for this? No. Is it because I don't remember what it's about? And so I wasn't excited about it because I couldn't remember what it was about? Yes. So I thought we could go over what it's about together because, oh wait, I think I was excited to read this book. I don't know how to say her name. Basically, considers her wedding day to be her death day. To end a years-long war and protect the people of her kingdom, she is to marry the vampire king, Adrian, last name, and kill him. But her assassination attempt is thwarted, and Adrian warns that if she tries to kill him again, he will raise her as the undead. Faced with the possibility of becoming the thing she hates most, she seeks other ways to defy him and survive the violence and political machinations? How do you say that? Political something of Adrian's brutal vampire court. Except it isn't the court she ends up fearing the most. It's Adrian and her intense attraction to him. Wrapped in a mystery and a past he refuses to discuss, Adrian nevertheless starts to become less of a monster to her. Despite their undeniable chemistry, she can't help but wonder why the king, fierce, complicated, ambitious, and at times inexplicably tender, chose her as a consort. The answer will shatter her world. Pretty good, right? Also, if you're noticing that from one clip to the next, my shirt is different, I spilled something on it. So, Isolde, is that her name?
Isolde.
Isolde?
Machinations.
Machinations?
What is that? A plot or scheme. Reading makes you smarter, guys, because here we are, looking into the word machinations. We're gonna start reading. I don't know how long we're gonna read, because it's getting kind of late and we're both kind of sleepy. What time is it?
It's 8:21.
8:21? Mm-hmm. That's bedtime. Take a moment, pause this video, scroll down, comment what time you average to go to bed. I'm taking a poll. We start winding down for the night 8 p.m. Most likely, it'll be like 9:30. Max is when we're going to bed. There have been many times where we're like, it's 7 p.m. and we're like, time to go to bed, and we'll knock out. But we wake up very early. We start our day at 4. On a weekend, we start our day at 6. Anyways, why are we talking about this? I don't know. We're gonna start reading. Okay, bye. Hi guys, I'm on page 158. So we're about halfway through. And I don't know what I was hoping for because, I mean, I had said from the beginning that I wasn't super excited about this book. And then I read the back and I was like, oh, actually it does sound interesting. But now the more that we read it, I just feel like it's, I don't know. Sam had brought up that it reminds her of Wattpad, like fan fiction. And that's a great description. Like, this is just, to me, it's like a Wattpad story.
It's like one of those that, like, doesn't have, it's not too descriptive.
Yeah, like, they don't go into too into depth about stuff, not a whole lot of world building. As things are popping up, that's when you're learning about them, so it makes it like easy to start reading, but it's not something that's like complex, in-depth. To me, it reminds me of Wattpad, especially because it is so smutty.
It was smutty, I think, in the first 17 pages.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh god.
Yeah, it
Starting off
happened
already.
fast. So if you don't like smut, or you only want it when it was like important
Makes
or like
sense.
makes sense or whatever,
Not the book.
this is really just like majority of it.
I feel like that's like the point of this book.
I don't think I've ever read a book like that where that's kind of what you're reading it for. This is like the smut is all that they have. The romance is completely physical attraction based, which I'm not a super big fan of. I'm leaning most towards it being a 2.5. Again, it's not terrible. It's just for our like what we want out of like a romance. It's not. I need more than just you guys like the way each other looks. That's all we have to say. We're gonna keep reading. Hopefully, I mean, I don't see it getting much better. It kind of seems like this is how it's gonna be, but
just trying to get through to the next book,
yes, because I am very excited about the next book. We rated it a 3. It was kind of disappointing because we felt like the story could have been super amazing, but there were just like certain things that got missed, like not enough detail. Felt like things were only really happening the second half of the book, and the beginning, rather than being like world building, it was just a lot of smut. And so
yeah, like what was going on.
Yeah, there wasn't world building when it should have been happening, and then by the end you're finding stuff out. By that point I didn't really care about it anymore.
Yeah, I wish it happened a little bit earlier, or like more clues.
Yeah. Smut level 5 really isn't the fact that there is spicy scenes, it's the fact that it was like the majority of their connection, and now we're really excited to do Kingdom of the Wicked. We've realized that the rest of the books in these series have these little skulls on top, but not the first one. Not the first one.
Why?
Why? Why would you make it like that?
I've looked at like all the other books and like in Barnes & Noble and in Half-Price Books, and they all have that freaking little purple thing.
So we're still reading this. I am actually reading outside of my job and like waiting for my time to clock in, and I figured that I would just update you guys since I remembered to bring the camera. This book is so good. Like, it's actually way better than I thought it was gonna be. I guess I thought just because it was YA that it wasn't gonna be as good, and I need to stop doing that because honestly YA isn't as bad as I make it seem. I think I've just read some YA that like is really kid friendly. Hi guys, I'm back home after working, and I don't know if you could see by the last clip what happened while I was filming. But basically, so I was outside of my job and I was filming me talking, and all of a sudden this car came up. I was just like, whatever, power through. Someone from the back of the car got out and is at my window while I have the camera like right in front of the wheel. He's trying to get my attention, and then it freaked me out because I'm just like alone, and he was just asking if my job was like hiring, but he didn't speak English. And so I have the camera pointing at me, and this man is trying to type into his phone to like Google Translate with me. Just the worry that he was gonna look up and be like, what are you doing? It's my funny little story of trying to film in public. I'm this far and it is so good. I'm really enjoying my time. Like, I'm enjoying a break from all the spice, you know, and I really like the story, and I'm liking it way more than I thought I was going to, because normally I'm not the kind of person that likes like a let's figure it out type of situation, but because it's fantasy, I think it's what's like pulling me through. Anyways, I'm gonna read. It's time for an update. We finished. This book has single-handedly convinced me that YA really isn't what I think it is, because I was obsessed with The Girls I've Been and That One's Young Adult, and then this series has quickly become all I can think about. We're rating this a 4.5, I think, or a 4, between a 4 and 4.5. So if you're the kind of person that thinks that young adult isn't like worth the read, especially once you get into like closer to mid-20s area, you know, like I don't know, sometimes I feel weird even looking in that section, like I'm too old to be there, but you're not too old, because there are really good stories in there, and that's that's just my PSA, because I was very surprisingly impressed by this book, even though I know that I love Carrie Maniscalco's writing. The next one we have to read is Shatter Me, and it's somewhere over there, I think. But that is going to be interesting because it's another series that I've heard a lot about, but I've never listened long enough to like actually know what it's about. I know it's about, I think, like a girl that you can't touch her. She's like touch of death, or maybe I'm making that up, but that feels right. But we're actually gonna go out, and we're thinking that we're gonna have like a little, we're thinking that we're gonna have a little date day. We're not gonna start reading it quite yet, but at some point we will. Okay, bye. Hello kids, it's time for an update because we've been
Reading
and
and having some feelings about it.
having some feelings about it. I've pulled ahead by quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a little nap.
Yeah, someone took a little nap because your head's hurting. I got about like a little less than halfway. And what were you just saying?
So like the way this author writes and like the way the book's like reading, it feels like the very young spectrum of young adult, like a middle school young adult. Where when we read The Kingdom of the Wicked, that felt like on the older spectrum of the young adult. Like I feel like there's a age spectrum within that genre range. That one felt more mature, where this one feels like I'd be like eating this up in 8th grade.
Yes, like if I was in middle school, because when we were in middle school, that was
Hunger
when
Games and
Yeah.
Divergent were coming out.
Yeah, so all of that was like super popular then. And if I was in 8th grade, I would be eating this up like no one's business.
I feel like
I would be living my best life. But now I just feel like, I don't know, there was a whole like dystopian era and it's just, it hasn't come back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think I just immediately equate it to like that time. And so, I don't know, it's harder for me to get into it.
Yeah. And it also just feels like a middle school book. That, like, you read in middle school. So I'm like, I just, doesn't feel mature.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
It's not bad. I just am not loving it.
Yeah, and dystopian's really not like our jam.
Yeah, and I wanted to like it more because I mean the concept.
It's a big series too.
Yeah, the concept is interesting, but I feel like the dystopianness is making it harder for me to enjoy. Is that how many books there are?
Yeah. Some of them are like the 1.5 kind of situation.
I would have never picked this book up if I thought that it was that many freaking books.
Oh, I knew it was this many books, so I was like, oh man.
I did not know that. Oh no. See, this is gonna be a DNF series. I can already tell. Like, this is just not happening. There's no way I could commit to that many books. But it's not bad. It's just like,
for a man level, if it was like so good, yeah, we'd read those books, but
we're just at the wrong age. Like this isn't a book that like we're at the right age for. So it's like part of me doesn't want to rate it super low because I can see why like
it does well where it belongs. It's written. Exactly.
Yeah, like this wasn't written for us.
No.
You know, so it's like,
yeah, it feels like it was written for like middle school, younger.
Like right now I'm leaning towards like 2.5.
Yeah. But for like the age range it could be like a 4.
Yeah.
But I think personally I would also rate it like 2.53.
Yeah. So that's what we're feeling. Again, it's not bad, it's just not the right book for us, so that's okay. I mean, we wanted to give it a try, and it'll just be a book that we don't continue the series. We're gonna see what we're able to do, because I want to read more. I want to finish this because we're getting close to, I mean, by this point, I don't know when this video is getting posted in regards to like the month, but right now, it's Father's Day, you know, so it's the 16th. And we still have a decent amount of books to read for this month.
Yeah.
And like we have 4. We have 4 left in our TBR. And
one is the big kahuna.
One's the really big one. And so we're running out of time, is what we're telling you. So we really want to finish this today, but it's getting kind of hard. Okay, bye. Oh, I'm stressed. I just feel like something bad's gonna happen. Oh, I'm stressed. I can't even enjoy what's happening right now because I'm like, oh.
We finished.
Yeah, we did.
The whole book kind of dragged. At the end, I saw like a good potential for like a good second book.
I can see why other people would like it. I can see why, or I could see how if I was younger, I would have eaten this up. I can see why people, like when the series got popular, like I could see all of that. It's not like I think it's a bad book. I just don't think that it was the right book for us right now. Yeah, or just like I'm not really into dystopian stuff right now. I don't really think I realized how dystopian this was. And again, like there's not anything wrong with dystopian. That was like a phase of books that I really liked, and I just haven't been in that phase since when it was super popular.
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of people can say that, because when like Divergent and Hunger Games and Maze Runner and all that kind of stuff was going on, like it was like a whole
like movement.
Yes. And we just haven't had that recently, so just wasn't my jam. But I think we're gonna rate it around a 3.
Yeah, I was thinking a 3.
Yeah.
It's not bad, so like I don't want to rate it 2. Like,
yeah. I don't want to give it a poor rating just because we read it like when we I don't know. I mean, it's kind of disappointing just because this is the last book for this video and I wanted to like end strong.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's never fun to get a book in a series and you not want to continue the series, you know? I always feel like it's like it's even, to me, it's like a bigger DNF because it's so many books that you're saying no to rather than just like the one. I mean, because we finished it, but like the whole series. I could
see us eventually going and maybe checking out the second book, but
yeah, it's just nowhere near.
We'd have to like really be in the mood for dystopian, I think. To
yeah, and I just haven't. Even like when the more recent Hunger Games movie came out, we rewatched the first Hunger Games because we were gonna go watch that movie and we never even did. And I was like, I can't even get through this. Like, it's just
that's not where my mind is right now.
Yeah, but if you like dystopian books,
I would definitely check this out.
I would read this. I mean, obviously, we showed you there's a lot of books in the series, so it's obviously a commitment. But I mean, the writing was fine, the story, whatever. There's a little romance going on, always fun. The concept is interesting. So basically, if you don't know what this is about, she is a girl who, from the time she was born, she has like the ability to, if she touches somebody, they die. Or they start to get like severely injured, depending on how long she's touching them.
Yeah, and then like, that in a dystopian setting. Like, it's just very...
Yeah, and like the resistance versus the corrupt government that took over, you know, like all that, you know, how typical dystopian stuff is. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting. I do think that it definitely read like a first in a series where the whole thing is just like world building, and then at the very end, it's like what makes you want to read the series, and like all of this is just like world building. Which
like the last 5 chapters, I was like, okay, it's actually kind of got my attention now. Stuff is happening now.
So that's gonna be it for this video. I feel like we started this video so long ago.
What was the first book in this video?
The Battle.
Oh my gosh, that was the first one.
King of Battle and Blood. So we've had 3, a 4.5, 4. Or
4.5.
4.5. 3, 4.5, and a 3.
At least we have one good in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's good. We had always been kind of looking at the series.
Now we know.
And so now we know.
We know what's up.
We had King of Battle and Blood for like a decent amount of time. It was like gonna be time to start reading it soon, because I think if we waited any longer, we weren't gonna get to it anytime soon, because we just kept replacing our books with like even more interesting ones. So
I mean, like the longer we have our books on our TBR, the less appealing they seem.
Yes, I just
like, we have 2 books right now that I'm like, oh god, everything else on our TBR sounds so much better.
Yeah, I just get sick of looking at them, but then I know that like at a specific time I want to read them, and then it starts to get like, hey, well, do I want something on my shelves that like I'm not super into?
Yeah, like at what point do we decide to just remove it from our TBR?
Yeah, so it's good that we got to these before that happened, so I like this. I like that we're gonna start doing the kinds of videos where like other things are picking what we're reading instead of just us being like, this is what we're reading right now. Because it keeps it interesting, it keeps it fun. So thank you for watching. This is the time where we throw up the peace sign. Okay, bye!